Okay, well, thank you very much. Kumusta kayo po, mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia? Dito po sa Sabah is Malaysia din. Ha? West and East Malaysia, kumusta kayo mga kababayan ko, mga kaibigan ko, and of course, mga Malaysian friends natin po, and of course, those other nationalities who are monitoring itong programa natin, Nick Talk, Rio Talk with Nico. And today is September 4, and cooling ang Malaysia po dahil since this afternoon, mga mid in the afternoon, we are experiencing dito po sa Kuala Lumpur, we are experiencing downpour. No? It's not too heavy, but we are experiencing rain, and the environment, the temperature is cooling po, maganda po. And medyo late tayo ngayon nag-umpisa ang programa natin dahil heavy traffic, no? Heavy traffic. Why? Because it is heavy traffic here in Kuala Lumpur. It is because Malaysia will be having another public holiday tomorrow, no? Tomorrow po, and all the Muslim countries will be declared a public holiday if I'm not mistaken. But 100% dito po sa Malaysia, tomorrow, be it West or be it in East Malaysia, tomorrow is a public holiday. And yes, today, Thursday, September 4, last day of the week na po dahil bukas it will be a public holiday. So, busy ang mga tao po after 4:30, pagdating mga 5 o'clock po, ang mga main highways natin dito po experiencing heavy traffic congestion until today po, no? Until now, as I speak now. So anyway, sige lang ang programa natin, our program Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico will still continue, and I'll give you what are the maybe not all, but some important news coming from the Philippines. And particularly, I'm giving this news sa mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, especially dyan po sa Kota Kinabalu. Okay, let's start with our mga topics ngayon. And of course, the main topic natin ngayon is still regarding ang anomalous projects, anomalous projects dyan po sa Pilipinas, especially those related to flood control projects, as well as other the development projects in the Philippines, awarded and implemented since 2022 hanggang 2025. Hanggang ngayon po, no? Na-discover na naman po mga ilan na naman mga projects ang newly appointed Secretary of the Public Works and Highway Secretary Vince Dizon. Today, he again discovered another ghost project dyan po sa Pilipinas, and he's not happy with the discovery. Likewise, not only the newly appointed Secretary of the Public Works and Highways not happy, but also the President, and of course, a lot of lawmakers, be it in the lower house or the upper house. It means be it in the House of Representatives and the Senate po. Our lawmakers are not happy. And not only the lawmakers po, the entire Filipino community, country po, ang bayan natin po, we are not happy with what is happening in the Philippines. And if this will continue po, I don't know what will happen to the Philippines po. We might experience, or we might see another big gatherings coming from the Filipinos po in the Philippines. Just recently, my big gatherings dyan po sa Indonesia because of, the youth or the Indonesians were not happy with how things are moving in the country. And dito po sa Pilipinas, dyan po sa Pilipinas, the way things are moving after all this pronouncement, exposure made by no less than the President of the Philippines, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, about these ghost projects, development projects being paid but not completed, development projects, especially flood control projects. They are in substandard, specifications of materials will not followed. SOP are given to those who help award the projects. Congressmen, politicians are in cahoots with government officials, particularly this Department of Public Works and Highways, and contractors also in cahoots with the authorities concerned. And it is for this reason that they are brave enough to carry out their projects awarded to them po by the billions or trillions po. They didn't do it according to specification, according to their contracts po. Why? Because they are also giving a certain percentage in there on that awarded projects to not only to the politicians but also to government officials po and other people, and because of that, the standard of our the quality standard of our projects po really dive po. There is no quality anymore. Worst thing po is not only the quality. Worst thing po, wala talagang project. No project at all. In other words, ghost projects. Ghost projects. Ang dami po. I was made to understand last week based on some reports that we heard from social media that there are more than 50 or 70 ghost projects already identified po. You just imagine. And these projects are, it's not only by the thousands, worth by the thousands. It is worth by the billions po, billions and billions. And who is paying it? Whose money? They siphon. It is the taxpayers' money. When we talk about taxpayers' money, it means po, pera ng bayan, pera na natin yun po. Because every day, every movements, every purchase, Filipinos are doing po, may tax tayo po. We are paying tax. And that tax goes to the government, intended to give us good facilities, public facilities po, But unfortunately, what kind of public facilities that we are enjoying now po, Flood alone for how many donkey years already po? And billions of money are being spent by the government to build up flood control projects sa Pilipinas, nationwide po. But yet, the Filipinos still continue and suffer heavily flash flood in their respective areas. And this is what is happening now in the Philippines. Pagod na po ang mga Filipino. Filipinos are tired. And I will not be surprised if by tomorrow, by next week, by next month, or by end of this year, or the following year po, the Filipinos will come out and do something. Do something, it means replace the government po, Replace the government. I hope it will not happen po, Because Filipinos are kind-hearted, understanding, But remember what happened during the People's Power, during the People's Power in 1986. And it was not only alone People's Power. We have People's Power 2, People's Power 3 po. So yun po ang problema sa atin ngayon sa Pilipinas. I hope this situation will not result to another People's Power po. Sana wag lang po. Because if that will happen, problema na naman po ang economy natin po. Ang economy natin. So, alright. Let's start with some news that I'm going to give you po. And this time around, let me pick up some news dyan po sa mainstream media natin sa Pilipinas. What news that I'm going to share with you? First and foremost, still regarding itong mga flash flood natin po, Flash flood natin. Alright, sandali. Ito muna po ang news coming from our beloved President, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Excuse me. Okay. This news was, I got it from the Philippine Star, is a mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas. The heading of the news is, after flogging corrupt flood control projects, Marcos asked for calm. Yan po ang heading of the news article. And here is the news article po. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. opened the floodgates of controversy with his order to prompt correction in the government's flood control projects. Now, he wants people to stay calm. After opening the gate of this controversy of the flood control project, wherein he ordered for an investigation po, our president now is calling the people, the Filipinos, to stay calm. To stay calm. Bakit kaya po? Why? Alright, let's continue with this news article. People have taken their anger at the seemingly widespread corruption to the online space, going after the children of government officials and contractors who flout their wealth. However, people are also taking the range into the physical space with environmental groups and calamity survivors storming the office of St. Gerald Construction. The construction company is one of the 9 firms owned by controversial contractor Sara Diskaya. With online range translating into physical actions, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said that Marcos does not like what is happening. The president wants everyone to be enlightened as to what is happening with the flood control projects and to give what is right for Filipinos. Marcos has instructed concerned government agencies, including law enforcement, to monitor developments. Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto likewise asked for calm. St. Gerald Construction is located in Pasig City. Diskaya also ran and lost against Soto in the mayoral race. He has since been vocal about the anomalous flood projects in his city. Soto reasoned that while he understands the outrage, people should not resort to violent acts that could cause others to get hurt. Rest assured, we in the LGO or local government units will continue to do our part with investigation, case build-up, and even prosecution, not just for Diskaya companies. Anything we can do to help, Soto said in the Facebook post. However, activists said that the time for calm has passed. The people's anger is not the problem, but the rotten and corrupt system that the government seems to be doubling down. Ang problema hindi sa mga tao po, ang problema sa sistema natin po. Former Kabataan Party List Representative Raul Manuel also disagree with Marcos, saying that people were within their rights to protest. He linked it to the ongoing riots in Indonesia, saying that the leaking and the sharing were not enough. The hot topic of flood control stemmed from Marcos himself when he declared in his 4th State of the Nation address that those who would plunder government funds in flood control should be ashamed. After all, people suffer annually when the rain triggers spread floods. Marcos then launched a website that listed every flood control project, following people to report the status of developments to the palace. The website has allowed journalists and lawmakers to sniff out signs of correction in flood control projects. One of the most controversial findings to stem from Marcos probe is the naming of the top 15 contractors who bagged 100 billion pesos in flood control projects. At least two of the top earning firms belong to the Discayas, the Alpha and Omega General Constructor and Development Corporation and St. Timothy Construction Corporation. Both of these firms, along with the other 7 Discaya firms, have had their contractors' license revoked already po. Revoked na po. So, yun po. Ang there are some groups of Filipinos po, mga advocating itong wrongdoings po, no? Wrongdoings po by contractors and politicians po. They went to the house of the Discayas and showed their protest doon po. Nag-vandalize sila ang gate and until finally the police came in and asked them to stop the rally po. But remember, this rally will not end today. No? Will not end today. That is 100% po. Because later on, I will tell you why it will not end or why it will not end today. I will tell you later po kung bakit po. No? In the meantime, let me show you an article or a video clip po about ang ano ito po, ang protest, ang protest po dyan sa mga Discayas. Okay, sandali lang. Let me share with you. Ano muna tayo dito po? Okay. Ito po, 225. Let's see ang 225. 225 about, ano ba ito? Is this about the flood already? Sandali Let me check first. Okay. Nandito po ang footage. Doon po ito sa bahay ni Discaya. Ang mga protesters nandyan po. Mga protesters nandyan sa bahay ni Discaya. And ito po ang report coming from the media mainstream dyan sa Maynila. Let's watch and listen to this report.
Kahit sa totoo lang, wala pa tayong impormasyon, no? Yung latest na impormasyon tungkol dito sa mga controversial na sasakyan ng pagmamayari ng mag-asawang Discaya dahil ang tanging tinakel lang kanina nung kanilang tagapagsalita na si Attorney Cornelio Samaniego III, yung kaugnay nga dito sa nangyaring protesta sa St. Gerard Construction Company kaninang umaga. At kung mapapansin nyo, sa likuran ko, no, kararating lang din itong mga tauhan nga ng St. Gerard at nagsisimula na silang linisin dahil kung malala natin, no, kaninang umaga, naghagis ng mga putik, yung mga nagprotesta dito at nag-iwan din, nag-vandal din, kagaya ng mga nandito sa aking likuran. So ito yung unti-unti nilang nililinis na at binubura. At ayon nga dito kay spokesperson, no, kasi sa mga oras na to, naguguluhan daw, mixed emotions na yung mag-asawa dahil sa mga nangyayari, specifically si Sarah. Kaya daw sila makapag-komento at natatakot daw yung kanilang pamilya para sa kanilang seguridad. Kaya nananawagan din sila sa PNP na sana raw mag-provide ng security dito sa kanilang property para daw mapanatili no, yung katahimikan at para hindi na rin daw damay itong ang komunidad dito, Lord.
So, walang rumisponde yung mga taga-barangay o yung mga polis na dumating?
Actually, kaninang umaga, Lord, mabilis naman na nakaresponde yung PNP Pasig, no? Kaya yung mga release ay hindi na rin nagtagal at nung sinabihan na mag-disperse na, within 10 minutes, tahimik naman daw silang umalis. Pero ayon sa kanila, no, itutuloy daw nila itong kanilang ginagawang protesta sa iba pang mga responsable na gusto nilang mapanagot dito nga sa flood control projects na usap-usapan ngayon. At si spokesperson naman, nananawagan na sana raw maging maayos na mamamayan dahil daw yung pamamaraan na nangyari kanina, no, kung paano nga nag-welga itong mga militante grupo, hindi daw ganito ang pagiging tamang mamamayan. At sabi nila, i-review nila yung pangyayari, yung CCTV, para malaman nila kung ano ba yung kaukulang kaso na isasampa nila, pero sinisiguro nila na kasong kriminal daw kung kanilang isasampa laban sa mga organizers na to.
Ano ba yung mga
Okay, yun po, nangyari kaninang umaga dyan po sa Pasig City, sa opisina mo yun, sa bahay ni Sara Discayas, no? Sara Discayas is one of the included ang pangalan nila po, ang kumpanya nila po sa top 15 contractors who were awarded with several flood control projects po nationwide by the Department of Public Works and Highways. And karamihan ng mga projects nila, I think if I'm not mistaken, ang Discayas company, they were having a more than slightly over 400 projects from the government po. And majority of these projects are, sabihin natin, flood control projects po. And some of the projects has already been identified as GOS and substandard po. Some of the projects of this Discayas fully paid na, but the project not completed. Project not completed. Some of the projects ongoing, but when they check the quality of the materials, the quality of the job, were substandard po. Hindi sila nag-follow sa specification ng contract nila po. So, yun po. So, ngayon, after all these things, for the past 2-3 weeks na ito po, galit na po ang mga Pilipino. And not only mga Filipino po. In fact, when President Bongbong Marcos exposed these anomalous activities carried out dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways, he himself said he's not only disappointed, but he is also angry of what is happening. But there are some lawmakers like Congresswoman Laila Dilema. Now, sabi niya po, he cannot feel the anger of President Marcos po because not until Marcos will start filing cases, criminal charges against these people concerned or individuals or companies po. But as of the moment, wala pa rin daw kaso nag-file. And anyway, for your information, ang Department of Public Works and Highways under the new stewardess of Secretary Vince Dizon, he already announced today that the district engineer of Bulacan, very controversial ito po, district engineer Henry Alcantara, he was removed from his post already po. It's not only suspended, but he was removed from his post, and criminal charges will be filed against him. Ano mga possible charges po? One is plunder. Plunder po. If you talk about plunder, that should be 50 million and above. And walang bail yun po. Walang bail. So there is a possibility na makulong talaga ito si Engineer Henry Alcantara unless he will be a state witness, or any other sabihin natin negotiation from the government po, from the government. But so far, that is the case that is most likely will be facing po. Wala na siya sa Department of Public Works and Highways and other officials po. Other officials as announced by, sabihin natin, by the newly appointed secretary, si Vince Dizon. Alright. Now, let me share you another video clip also regarding itong flood project po, wherein si Secretary Dizon also expressed unhappiness, anger po. In fact, sabi niya, mga hayop yun, mga contractor. Mga hayop yun, mga those who are involved in this anomalous activities po. Mga hayop yun sila. When they discovered another project po dyan sa Pilipinas po na Ghost Project. Ghost Project po. Sabi niya, this is a very glaring, another very glaring example. Example po. You just imagine po, every time marinig ko itong klase mga discovery nila po, nasasaktan ako po dahil tayo, mga overseas Filipino workers, tayo po, we are sending money sa Philippines. Ha? And then yung pala mga pera natin po goes to this kind of government officials, this kind of lawmakers, huh? This kind of contractors. Grabe po, no? Asan ang korason, ang puso nila po? They are enjoying life to the fullest. Ang mga anak nila nasa abroad, having parties left and right, spending a big amount of money left and right po at the expense of us, mga poor Filipinos po. Come on. The government, please wake up. Please wake up and think about us also. That's why I myself, I agree and I support the call. The call po, for all the Filipinos, especially tayo po, mga taxpayers po, no? Let us continue to fight for our rights. Let us be focused and united para sa kabutihan ng bayan natin po. For the future of our generations and the generations to come. Huwag natin sabihin, okay, tapos naman yan po. Let's forget the past and think about the present and work for the future. Let's forgive and forget. Hindi pwede yan po. Hindi pwede po. Because this has been going on for how many decades already po. Ganun ang ugali ng mga Filipino. Very forgiving. Pero, the time has come. Siguro po, tama na. Tama na po. Tama na po. Imagine, with 28, 40 expensive cars, yung pala, may connection sila dyan po, ang government natin sa mga lawmakers natin, reportedly pa lang mga congressmen natin. Tapos, yung mga projects pala po, that's all cooked already po. Kasi, nang-incahod sila sa mga gobyerno natin po, mga government officials natin po. Basta pera sa kanila, that's it na. Bahala na what will happen ang mga kababayan nila, ang mga neighbors nila po, ang mga kapatid nila. Basta sa kanila, sa kanila. Basta ma-enjoy lang silang pera. Ma-enjoy lang ang may pera sila. They can give this luxurious items, comfort sa pamilya nila. Bahala na yon mga ibang Filipino po. And itong pera galing sa amin po, hindi sa inyo. We are the ones who is paying nyo. Pera namin ito, mga tax namin po. Kaya nga sabi ni Secretary Dizon, mga hayop kayo. Sabi ang Presidente, mahiya kayo. Mahiya kayo po. Alright. Nandito po, let me share with you itong si Secretary Dizon po. Yung sabi niya is a very glaring, another glaring example. Another glaring example. Let's listen to this report. Itong report po galing sa mainstream media dyan po sa Pilipinas. 24 oras.
Rapi Connie, ito nga yung flood control project na in-inspection mismo ni DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon dito sa Barangay Sipa sa Plaridel, Bulacan. At ang kanyang description dito sa proyektong ito, patay na pilit binubuhay dahil taong 2024, idineklara na 100% na kumpleto ito at sumingil na sa gobyerno ng 96.5 million pesos. Pero ang nakita ni Secretary Dizon dito, hinahabol na gawin ang proyektong ito. Dismayado si Secretary Dizon sa kanyang nakitang ghost flood control project dito sa Barangay Sipas sa Plaridel, Bulacan. At June 2024, nang ideklara itong ng kontraktor nito na 100% na kumpleto. Ang kontraktor nito ay yung Wawaw Builders. At kumolekta na nga sa gobyerno ang kontraktor ng 96.5 million pesos. Base rin sa record ng DPWH, 3 buwan lamang umano doon na tinapos ang naturang proyekto noong idineklara nila ito na tapos na. Pero sa pagdating ni Dizon dito, mga subcontractor na lamang ang gumagawa at hinahabol ito. 3 linggo pa lamang ang nakakaraan nang sabihan sila na gawin ito sa halagang 700,000 pesos lamang. At ayon kay Dizon, yung mga nakapirma dito ay itong sina dating DPWH Regional Director Henry Alcantara, dating OIC District Engineer Bryce Erickson Hernandez, at OIC Assistant District Engineer JP Mendoza. Ang mainit na balita, Rafi Coni, ay dinismiss na ni Dizon itong si Alcantara na dating suspended lamang at sasampahan daw ng kasong kriminal sa mga susunod na araw. Ipinadismiss na rin itong sina Hernandez at Mendoza. Sa isang text message naman, sinabi ni Alcantara na inagalang daw niya ang aksyong ito ni Secretary Dizon. Sa Senate hearing ay nagpaliwanag noon si Alcantara na kung may nangabayaran daw man ng mga proyektong ghost or ghost project ay nagtitiwala lamang siya sa kanyang mga tao, pero inamin din niya na kapabayaan din niya ito. Sa isa pang mainit na balita, pinapa-blackmail na habang buhay na blacklisted din ang Wawaw Builders at ang Sims Construction Trading. Ito naman yung kontraktor doon sa isa pang ghost project na binisita mismo ni Pangulong Marcos sa Barangay PL sa Baliwag, Bulacan. Narito po ang pahayag ni Secretary Dizon.
Patay na, pinipigit buhayin. Kasi nabayaran na siya nung last year. Sabi dito ng DPWH, 100% completed na to last year. Pero, siguro, 3 weeks ago, umiinit, nag-iimbestiga na ang Kongreso, nagalit na ang Pangulo, pinipigit buhayin yung patay. Wala na tayo, ghost project ito Klarong-klaro. Ito talaga, ninakaw yung 100 million na yan. Pero itong hayop na wawaw na ito, at yung kung sino man ang may-ari niya, ito talaga kailangan managot.
Alright, yan po, narinig kayo ang statement ni Secretary Dizon. 100 million yun po, no? 100 million yun. Ghost project, klaro, ghost project. Tapos suspended, lifetime suspension ang Wawaw, a company. Hindi lang po, para sa akin po, hindi lang lifetime suspended. Huh? I want the owner also will be file charges against them. Plunder po, ganon din yan po, para malalaman na natin na walang personalan ito, walang kaibigan, walang ano po. File charges, plunder case against this owner of this company. Klarong-klaro din yan po. Ha? And do not delay. Huwag na tayo mag-delay, baka mag-alis na yun sila po sa bayan natin po. Narinig natin. Mamaya, I'll be talking about this person. Narinig natin po ng isang known personality dyan sa Pilipinas po. And everyday, almost lumalabas ang pangalan niya po sa controversy. Wala na pala dyan sa Pilipinas, umalis na po. And nobody from them, even the speaker himself, I don't think so, ang speaker doesn't know. Sana nagsabi na lang, okay, just to inform you, ang public, that this person is no longer here in the Philippines, umalis siya for this kind of reasons. But, they kept quiet. They kept quiet until somebody will ask them, nasaan ba? Until cornered na sila, then only they will reveal. Mamaya na yan po. Mamaya na yan. Okay? Let me share with you another footage of Secretary Dizon po, no? About this very glaring example of a project na ito po that he just mentioned few seconds ago. Sa video clip, sa video clip. Nandito po, let's listen He was, si Secretary Dizon is explaining one by one po ano talaga nangyari. Let's listen to this.
Konting background dito, no? Itong project na to, bibigyan ko kayo ng kopya nito, no? Bibigyan ko kayo ng, ito yung project briefer na galing sa DPWH.
You listen, listen
Galing
talaga
to
kayo
sa
po.
DPWH website, no? Project briefer to. Bibigyan ko kayo ng kopya nito. Ito construction ng isang flood control structure, yan, nakikita nyo ngayon. Yung protection wall, no? Dito sa river, worth 96.5 million from the 2024 GAA, no? This contract was started on March 20, 2024. Tandaan nyo yung data. March 20, 2024. Nakalagay dito, ang kanyang duration is dapat 270 days. Okay? Pero, nung June 11, so April, May, June, so less than 3 months, nakalagay dito, actual accomplishment 100% in 3 months. So, tandaan nyo na, 270 days dapat. Diba? 3 months, wala pang 3 buwan, nakalagay dito, 100% accomplished na siya. Date corrected, meaning nabayaran si Wawaw Builders, siya ang contractor, si Wawaw, July 21, 2024. So, 1 month after. So, 2024. Okay. So, yun ang background. Okay, yun ang background. Okay. Tinanong ko si Cap Oscar Gabriel, ang kapitan natin dito. Kailan ba nagsimula ito? Itong ginagawa yun, nakikita nyo ngayon. Kasi obviously, bago pa ang gawa yan eh. Diba? Ang sagot sa akin ni Cap, ang sagot sa akin ng mga kababayan natin doon, yung mga nakatira dito sa tabi, 3 weeks ago. So, ito, ang tawag ko dito, patay na, pinipilit buhayin. Kasi nabayaran na siya eh, nung last year eh. Sabi dito ng DPWH, 100% completed na to last year. Pero, siguro, 3 weeks ago, umiinit, nag-iimbestiga na ang Senado, nag-iimbestiga na ang Kongreso, nagalit na ang Pangulo. Pinipilit buhayin yung patay. Wala na tayo, ghost project ito eh. Klarong-klaro na ghost project ito. Pero dahil lang sa mga pangyayari, hinahabol ngayon. And kausap ko din yung subcontractor, si Jojo. Kabayan ko ito. Kinontrata lang siya 3 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago. Bayad na to, ha? Tandaan nyo, bayad. July 2024, bayad na to. Naka-record sa DPWH, completed. Ito na ang pinakamagaling at pinakamabilis na contractor na nakita ko. Na 270 days ang schedule, natapos niya in less than 3 months. Ito na ang pinakamagaling na contractor talaga. No? Pero,
Yan po, narinig niyo po, klarong-klaro ang explanation po, no? Klarong-klaro, walang duda. Ghost project na yan. Ha? Ghost project na yan. So what is next? What is next po? Sana lang bukas po, we will also hear na itong kompanya not only being lifetime will not be allowed to participate any government biddings. Sana po may-ari din po, plunder case din po, whatever case na kailangan, criminal cases, kailangan mag-file sa kanya po. Ha? Because this company, the owner, will not be brave enough to do this stupid things sa mga proyekto niya po kung wala siyang backer sa itaas. O kung hindi siya nagbayad din sa itaas. No? Mayroon talaga yun. Whether we like it na. Alam na natin. Alam na this. Alam na mga Pilipino. No? Maski, I believe even President Marcos knows what is happening. Now what we want is criminal charges, file against them. Kawawa naman kami dito po. Hindi naman kami, you see, we are not, sabihin natin, ano talaga tayo, sadista. We want them to be behind bars. But, accountability, we want justice. Kung ang mga mahirap lang, konting mali lang, preso agad, kalaboso agad. Pero itong mga mayaman, ang dami pa mga ganito. May time pa sila mag-alis dito sa bayan natin o dyan sa bayan natin po. Ano ba yan? Anyway, okay. Mayroon pa dato tayo dito isa pang video clip regarding ito naman isang engineer. Very known na ito ngayon po. Suspended na, hindi lang suspended. He was removed from the post already. Si District Engineer Henry Alcantara. Henry Alcantara. Sino ba ito si Henry Alcantara? Nandito po. Let's listen to this. For your information na po. So at least you will have a little bit the background kung sino ba talaga itong si Engineer Henry Alcantara. Dapat i-disbar na yan po. Remove him being as a engineer. Your license niya po. But he will be facing a plunder case na. That is 100% sure. Nandito, let's listen and watch to this video clip that I have prepared for all of you.
Bago po pumutok ang issue ng flood control projects, nakapanayam ng GMA Integrated News si dating District Engineer Henry Alcantara tungkol sa problema ng mga lubak-lubak na kalsada noong 2022. District Engineer pa siya noon ng First Engineering District Office ng Bulacan.
Actually, most of the national roads po namin, ang Manila North Road, ay talaga naman pong medyo heavily damaged na po yan because of the overloaded trucks na dumadaan sa amin.
3 taon makalipas, si Alcantara ginigisa ngayon sa kaugnayan niya sa ilang ghost flood control projects sa Bulacan. Nabunyag pati ang pagkakasino niya at paggamit ng alias para makapagsugal. Sa pagtatanong ng House Infrastructure Committee kahapon, inusisa si Alcantara sa kanyang naging karera sa DPWH. Kwento ni Alcantara, natubong Bukawe, Bulacan, engineering graduate siya mula sa University of Santo Tomas. Nagsimula raw siya sa DPWH noong 1994.
Ano pong unang posisyon na hinawakan po ninyo?
I was nagsimula po ako sa border. My item ko po ay laborer 1. Naging laborer 2, naging engineer 1. Every 6 months po, because I was a casual employee at that time.
Taong 2019, naging district engineer siya ng First Engineering District ng Bulacan.
Sino ang nag-assign sa'yo to be a district engineer?
The former Secretary Mark Villar.
Secretary Mark Villar.
Yes, sir.
Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Malabas ka ba kay Secretary Mark Villar o ikaw lamang ay tamang tao na ilagay dyan?
Nag-apply na po ko, Your Honor.
Bago siya na-relieve, na-promote pa si Alcantara bilang officer in charge ng Office of the Assistant Regional Director ng DPWH Region 4A nitong Hunyo. Bilang pinuno ng Bulacan First District Engineering Office, hawak ni Alcantara noon ang 13 LGU sa Bulacan, kabilang ang mga bahaing bayan ng Hagonoy, Baliwag, Kalumpit at Malolos. Ang kanyang District Engineering Office ang may pinakamalaking project cost sa lahat ng implementing office ng DPWH. Merong 450 flood control projects. Ang total cost ay 28.9 billion base sa datos sa sumbong sa Pangulo website mula 2022 hanggang 2025 noong panahon ni Alcantara. Sa ilalim ni Alcantara, pinatupad ang Reinforced Concrete River Wall Project sa Barangay Piel, Baliwag, Bulacan na inaward sa Sims Construction Trading. Ito yung proyektong nabuking ni Pangulong Marcos na isa palang ghost project.
I'm getting very angry.
Sa pagtatanong ng House Infrastructure Committee kahapon, lumabas na inaprubahan ni Alcantara ang pagbabayad ng 55 billion pesos sa proyekto kahit hindi
sasali doon sa NEP ng district office nyo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. So, kayo ang nag-propose. Walang iba, kundi kayo.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, walang politiko na involved dito. Kayo po ang nag-propose na ito.
Yes, Your Honor.
Babala ng House Infrastructure Committee, reklamong plunder ang posibleng harapin ni Alcantara.
As soon as I've seen the documents and as soon as I've heard the admissions of District Engineer Alcantara, ang malinaw po sa akin, ang maximum criminal charge na pwede po ikaso kay District Engineer Alcantara sa Sims Construction Trading, yung kanila pong managing officer po doon, ay kaso na hindi po bababa dapat sa plunder. Again, ang project amount po ay 55 million. Ang threshold for plunder ay 50 million.
Sa pagharap ni Engineer Alcantara sa House Infrastructure Committee kahapon, inamin niyang may pagkukulang siya. Pero hindi ito obra sa Infracom dahil malaki raw ang papel ni Alcantara sa mga umano'y ghost at substandard flood control projects.
Negligence is going to be his defense in court. And this is something that we reject. Ikaw yung boss ng opisina. Hindi ba? So you cannot pin the staff down, you cannot pin the ordinary employee down. It was you who was the boss in the district engineering office. Wala kang iba.
Sinisika pa namin makuha ang panig ni Alcantara. Para sa GMA,
Okay, yun po. Ano yun, a little background. Alam niyo po kung sino talaga si itong engineer, Henry Alcantara. Most likely, he'll be facing a plunder case na po. No? A plunder case na po. Mabuti din yan po. I'm sorry to say that po because medyo, it's really unfair. Unfair para sa amin, mga taxpayers po. You're enjoying life to the fullest. You go to casino, you spend a lot of money there. Knowing the fact that you are not supposed to be in that casino. You're enjoying ang buhay mo po, ang pamilya ninyo po. I'm sorry lang sa pamilya, no? At the expense of the poor taxpayers. Taxpayers po. How many donkey years na mga tao dyan pa sa Bulacan? Every time may heavy downpour, may typhoon po, baha, nawala, nasira ang mga properties nila po sa bahay. And worst thing, may mga tao pa namatay dahil hindi kayo nagawa yung proyekto na kailangan to save, to address itong problema natin ng baha dyan sa lugar ng Bulacan. But kayo, you don't care. You don't care. Basta okay lang ang buhay ninyo. So, plunder, kung mayroon pa mas mataas sa plunder, mas maganda na yan po. Para sa akin na po, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But it is really unfair. There must be justice, accountability. Right? Now, let's move to another topic naman ngayon po. Another topic is, kasi budget na tayo ngayon, di ba? Sa Kongreso, sa Senate, talking about the budget, mayroon na red flag na. Si Senator Gatchalian, nakita niya yung red flag. And serving review nga, sabi ni President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, na to review ang budget proposal ng Department of Public Works and Highways. And of course, lawmakers, congressmen, senators also, na they're saying, let us not forget ang 2025 budget. What really happened? Mga insertion dyan po sa 2025 budget. What really happened? We want to know. We want to know. But, until now, wala po. Tuesday hearing, ang TRICOM, there are some congressmen like Representative Toby Tiangco was saying, sana mag-invite tayo ang former chairperson ng Committee on Appropriation sa House of Representatives and ang Finance Committee Chairman ng Senado, si former Senator Grace Popo. But, wala nangyari po. Wala nangyari. And nasaan ba? There have been questions raised by concerned Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas since last week. bakit si Representative Saldico po is very quiet po, and nasaan na siya ngayon? There are even news saying that alleging, mga rumors ito po, that he already left the country as early as 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But none of the congressmen dare to clarify things. Press officer of the House of Representatives, ang spokesperson po si Attorney Princess Abante, wherein she revealed kung nasaan po si Representative Saldico po. So at least ngayon, alam na natin po kung nasaan si Congressman Saldico. Nandito po ang video clip that I have prepared for all of you po to confirm kung nasaan talaga si Representative Saldico. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
That initial inquiry sa Office of the Secretary General, sa alam ko, he's currently out of the country. I understand he's nasa United States siya for medical treatment with appropriate travel documents. Kung ano yung mga travel documents na yun, wala pa akong copy, so I still have to coordinate further with Office of the Secretary General. Ano po yung period ng kanyang travel clearance from the House? Kailan po umalis? Wala pa ako nung mga details tungkol dyan. I have to coordinate with them further to be able to get more information, and once I have that, I will of course share it with all of you. Thank you po.
So, that's it. Confirm na confirm si Representative of Congressman Saldico is out of the country. Nasa United States daw siya po. Reportedly undergoing medical treatment. Medical treatment po. This ngayon, lumabas na po kung nasaan talaga si Congressman Saldico. In fact, last Tuesday, may mga mention ang pangalan ni Representative Saldico po, and none of the TRICOM chairman dared to say, for your information, wala dito ngayon si Congressman Saldico dahil he is now in United States undergoing medical treatment. Sana nag-announce na yun po, no? Doon pa lang sa Tuesday hearing. But none of them ever mentioned ang whereabouts ni Representative Saldico. Why? We don't know. Why? I don't know. No? Why? I don't know. Alright. Now, still si spokesperson, Tony Abante, on the issue of, ano ba yun, ang issue nila about sa hearing yon last Tuesday. Let's listen to this po, to this video clip that I'm going to share with you. Still si Attorney Princess Abante po.
Wala namang ganong klaseng na galing sa House leadership, no? Ang tungkol dun sa hindi pag-imbita doon sa Infracom, na-clarify din naman siya ni Chairman Terry Ridon na kaya hindi iimbitahan because for that specific purpose that they want to invite Congressman Saldico, and including, I understand, Senator Grace po, diba? Because hindi siya kasama sa scope ng investigation ng Infracom. It was not relevant for the scope ng pag-uusapan ng Infracom. But it may be relevant in other venues, in other committees. So, ang gustong tutukan ng Infracom, yung mga allegations ng mga anomalya sa flood control projects. At nakita natin, nag-setting na ng direction ng Infracom kung ano yung mga initial na tututukan nila. They wanted to prioritize the flood flood control projects that were tagged by the President himself as ghost projects. They started now with Bulacan. Yun yung una din naman na na-identify ni Presidente. So they are discussing that now. And I think for the next hearing, yun pa rin naman pag-uusapan. So kung ang pag-uusapan ay yung anomalya sa flood control, hindi nararapat pa si Congressman Saldico na masama doon sa pag-uusap na yon. Pag mapag-uusapan yung mga insertions, doon siguro magiging relevant yung presence ni Congressman Saldico. Yun ang explanation ni Chairman Terry Reton.
Okay, narinig din niyo po ang explanation ni spokesperson ng House of Representative Attorney Abante po. But if I'm not mistaken, there was an interview of Representative Toby Chanco, I think yesterday, na he said, na-mention din ang pangalan ni Representative Saldico sa issue ng flood control project. Hindi pa ba yun enough for the TRICOM committee to invite him to attend ang meeting? So it means involved din pala si Congressman Saldico sa issue ng flood control project. But apparently, parang they don't want the Representative Saldico to appear sa hearing. Ayun ang klaro, mas disente. That's how ang mga tao, especially dito po sa Malaysia, mga Filipinos, that's how we read. They read ang mga statements, actions ng mga members ng TRICOM during the hearing last Tuesday. Alright? But anyway, let's see what will happen. Sa September 8, that will be on Monday next week, there will be another hearing of the Blue Ribbon Committee ng Senado sa flood control management investigation po. And I think it will be either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. But definitely next week then. There will be the second hearing of the TRICOM po. Dito po sa flood control project investigation ng House of Representatives. Don't worry, I'm going to monitor itong mga probes or investigation po. So at least you will be properly informed ang mga followers natin dito po sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Earlier, I mentioned that I will give you one of the reasons why hindi maghinto itong mga rally-rally po dyan sa bahay this morning, dyan sa bahay ng the Kayas family sa Pasig City. No? Why? Because if you remember, yesterday during my blogging, I mentioned that itang mga organizers or supporters ni Tatay Digong, ni Vice President Sara Duterte ng PDP Laban, especially ito si Ka Eric. Now, he is inviting all the Filipinos, both dyan po sa Pilipinas and sa ibang nation po, to attend the gathering. Sa Pilipinas po, there will be a gathering tomorrow. Tomorrow po, no? There will be a mass gathering tomorrow to show protest against itong issue na flood control projects investigation dyan po sa Pilipinas. And it will be held at 11 o'clock sa EDSA Shrine and another one at 6 p.m. And there will be scattered rallies or gathering po sa mga diferente areas in the Philippines, sa public parks ka or wherever, and the local organizations will be announcing the respective venues and time po. And that will be scheduled tomorrow nationwide ito po. While activities abroad, they will also be doing, especially for the month of this month, September po, maraming mga gatherings, and si Inday Sara Duterte will also be very busy po attending these gatherings of Filipinos po in support to Tatay Digong, the former president of the Philippines, and also of what is happening sa sitwasyon ngayon sa Pilipinas. Sa September 20 and 21, the Vice President will be in Japan attending this Filipino gatherings, and definitely she will be in The Hague on or before September 23 during the scheduled hearing of charges of Tatay Digong po dyan po sa International Criminal Court, The Hague po sa Netherlands sa September 23. So, eto na. Siguro, medyo mahaba tayo ngayon, September 4. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang po ang programa natin. Don't forget to like, support itong programa po, especially mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, because this program is really intended, dedicated para sa mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, be it sa West Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur, and other states dito sa West, or be it sa East Malaysia, and that is Sabah and Sarawak po, Sabah and Sarawak. This program is meant for all of you. And of course, ang mga overseas Filipino workers natin sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo. And of course, ang mga kababayan natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Shout out once again to Mary Lupentonio and those who are watching itong programa. I cannot read all ang mga pangalan ninyo po kasi hanggang bukas tayo. Hanggang bukas tayo if I'm going to read ang mga pangalan ninyo. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. And I hope maski paano, I managed to give you the news that you deserve today. And I hope I managed to entertain you for the past 1 hour or so po. So with this, once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye. I love you.